Hello guys, Clapton here. I'd like to show you some set dungeon guides, and we'll start off with the Helltooth set. First of all, where is it located? Um, it's at the Royal Crypts Act 1, and it's actually more or less almost at the Crypt of the Skeleton King. So just here's the waypoint, just walk up here, straight here, and here's the set dungeon. Now, what do you have to do? We have to do kill 20 enemies with single wall of death using with a single wall of death 4 times, and we shouldn't take any poison damage. I think the hardest part is actually quite obvious. It's to kill 20 enemies with a single wall of death, because you have to kite the enemies, and once you kite them, of course, you cast it. The, why? Why the poison damage or not taking any poison damage is not a problem. Oops, it's actually quite easy, because we have this guy here, Mars Kaleidoscope, preventing all poison damage taken and heal yourself. Basically, you just neglect the part of the not poison damage taken. It's pretty easy. Theoretically, what I would run, first of all, of course, Mars is quite easy one. And the second, I think, most important item, because the dungeon is quite big, actually, is Shukran's Triumph. Spirit Walk lasts until you attack or until an enemy is within 30 yards of you. And there are quite a few monsters inside, which means you have to run sometimes quite a bit. And with Spirit Walk practically endlessly, you can overcome the large distances quite easily. Then for the skills in generally, Poison Dart, I use Poison Dart if I'm not able to group up 20 enemies, or if there's for single targets generally, I use Poison Dart in order just to kill the enemy, because you don't want to leave someone behind. If you do that, you will you can't master the set dungeon. Wall of Death, communicating with the spirits, just simple. Use the group or to kill actually 20 enemies then. Spirit Box Errands in order just to move faster. Soul Harvest, Soul of Waste in order to gain movement speed. Gargantuan and Samidogs are actually quite optional. Since we're using obviously the full Helltooth set, I would like to have these two, because once I've completed the mission of killing 20 people 4 times, or 20 zombies 4 times, you need to clear this dungeon as fast as possible. And I'd like just to go with these two, because you get a damage boost of Gargantuans as well. So deal a lot of damage. And you just go through the rift, through the set dungeon, and just kill everyone. So you spawn these two actually once you're done with your set dungeon, not when you enter the set dungeon. All the others are just optional more or less as well. Spirit Vessel might be once you maybe take fatal damage to have a second life. Midnight Feast, Pierce the Veil, and also Craving Justice is just to boost actually your damage output. Beside Pierce the Veil, actually, all your damage is increased, but mana costs are increased by 30%. Doesn't really matter, because my more or less single target is a primary skill as well, so it doesn't actually take any mana cost. No, this is quite quite fancy. What else? For the rings then, without the Endless Walk set, I just use Unity to have 50% damage reduction, and Convention of Elements just in order if the cold rotation occurs, once again, you're going to deal a lot of damage. Yeah, for the weapon, just thinking, but actually you could go with any weapon. It's not a big deal to not have it. Mask, short, gargantuan damage, obviously, but most importantly, actually Mara's Kaleidoscope and Shukran's Triumph. It will take 3 or 4 runs in order to complete it. It's quite a big map, but I think it's, once you know how to do it, it's pretty simple. That being said, let's jump into the dungeon now, and thanks for watching. So let's try it. I killed 20 enemies, single wall of death. This is the main issue with this set dungeon. The second one, well, just use Mars and you're good to go. So let's see.
You die.
Almost didn't get it.
One step closer. The truth burns you.
Always move back so you can get the last ones.
Your death comes.
Ah, thought so. There won't be enough here, so just kill them. Try these and in here.
You
Nice.
die.
So once you've got this completed, spawn your guards.
Need more time.
And now just rush through the rift.
Not ready yet. A perfect strike. A perfect strike. Need more time.
Let's hope I didn't forget anyone.
Needs more time.
Because usually you don't have time for a second round.
A perfect strike. Need more time.
And that's it. As I said, The hardest part is actually the kill 20 enemies. Usually, as you can see, the map is quite big. Usually you can at least do one here, maybe a second, a third here, and usually here the fourth managed to do it here in this part or in this region, but it doesn't really matter. Just to be sure, you have to guide them, so you have to move forward and moving, and then once you get to 20, always go backward as well, so you can hunt those one or two survivors more or less down. You need to do this, otherwise you won't be able to track them. You will never find them. So, in my opinion, what you really need to make this set dungeon easier is Maris to neglect all the poison damage, as well as the Shakranis Triumph, just to use Spirit Walk and to be as fast as possible. After you've cleared the first objective, uh, since we're using the health recepted spawn, you're going to spawn, summon some zombie dogs, and just to clear the rift, the set dungeon fast. Uh, so make sure you just pop these not at the beginning, but in the very end, because if you do that at the beginning, they will just kill everything, and you will never be able to kite them because they're dead when you try to. Yeah, I think that's the main issue with this set dungeon. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.